Hey there, Jeff Olahane, your YouTube reviewer of New Hampshire and New England beers. I've returned for round 2, and I figured I'd continue with the Smuttynose brand, Smuttynose of Portsmouth, New Hampshire. This time I've got the Smuttynose Robust Porter. A couple of circus people on the label. Cirque du Francois Oeuf, sorry about my French. I think that translates into the French egg circus, but I'm not 100% sure. This particular beer won the 2001 Gold Medal Award. Porter, that's one of my favorite beers. Porter, that's the beer that George Washington provided to the troops during the Revolutionary War. And we all know how important beer was to the Revolutionary War movement. Now let's take a can opener and pop her open and see what we have here for the Robust Porter. Well, not much in the area of smoke and mist. Not really doing much in that regard, so that's all right. That's not a big deal. But let's take a pour and see what this looks like coming into the Smuttynose glass, a pint glass. As you can see, it's got a nice, really brown and almost dark, black, opaque look to it. Kind of a thin, frothy sort of head. Maybe about a quarter of an inch or so. It's nice and frothy and foamy and sort of a beige color. And that's kind of nice. I always kind of like that color. It's really really gives me a feeling of a really robust sort of beer. Thus the title, Robust Porter. Let's give it a whiff. What do you think? Why don't you whiff it and see? Yes, a bit of chocolate and cocoa and maybe some coffee grounds, for example. And let's take a sip on this thing as well. It may look like I drank a whole bunch of it, but I've actually been drinking that over the course of a few minutes. I had to stop my camera for a minute while I was distracted momentarily, but I didn't want to miss out on taking a few sips of the old Smuttynose. And the flavor on this has that bit of chocolate malt to it, as well as a bit of cocoa. And I like to use the word coffee grounds. I mean, that sounds like kind of a disgusting phrase, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. So it's coffee grounds or burnt coffee or coffee that has already been brewed, and that's kind of a good description of what you find in a porter, and the Smuttynose one is really a good example of that. Slightly hopped, let's say mildly hopped, maybe a little bitter alpha hops in the thing, but nothing really extraordinary, but you notice it mostly. It's the chocolate and the malts that really kind of stand out on this one. So Smuttynose really does a nice job with the brews they do, and this one's another good example of some of the fine brews they make. And if you get a chance to go pick one up, go do it, and I hope you enjoyed this review.